Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the WebSCM. This is the part one web browser setup. There'll be three parts we're going to go over today. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Chris Knorr. I'm with Region 4, and Region 4, we're supporting Region 10 in your rollout of WebSCM. So you'll see myself and some other of our colleagues from Region 4 on some trainings as well as we go through this. Please make sure you check your chat box. There's a link for the sign-in and a link for the live binder. We can find today's materials. As well as all of these materials are also loaded onto Square Meals under the transition page. So all of these same slides that you'll see today will be loaded onto Square Meals, as well as some one-pagers that'll help you out as well. I'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so as you know, this is just a small portion of what we do every day in Child Nutrition Program. So you're still responsible for understanding all handbooks, manuals, alerts, notices, guidance, as well as any other form of communication for further guidance, clarification, or instruction on operating your program. Now, through these WebSCM trainings, we will have assessments that you're going to take. And when you take the assessment, it's going to ask you for a student ID. The student ID format is, I'm going to type it in the chat, but it's going to be 10 for Region 10, and then it'll say CEID, and then it'll have your ID, your CE number. So that's a 5-digit number, and then you're going to put in your last name. So I put that in chat just as a reference. Yours is going to look different. It'll say number 10, 10, then CEID, and then your actual CE ID number and your last name. And it's very important that you're following this format exactly because this links to a tracker sheet that's being downloaded. So when you scan this QR code and answer these two questions, those answers are going directly to a tracker sheet. So we can make sure you're understanding the information and that you are getting the
Chris,
training.
You cut off. We can't hear you.
Oh, no. Just 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I think I have a, okay. Let me know if it happens again. Okay. Okay, perfect. So again, this is the first assessment. If you want to go ahead and scan that QR code, if you cannot scan it, the link is listed also on that page. So you can just type in that link in your browser and answer the questions. The first one is, how enthusiastic are you? And the second one is, how anxious are you? Okay, so let's get started. So first, we're going to go over an introduction, just our objectives and our outcomes. We're going to talk about bookmarking, pop-up blockers, and other settings, and then logging into that training environment. So by the end of this course, you should be able to know how to update your browser privacy settings, log into WebSCM training environment, identify WebSCM portal components and where to find the content system updates, and identify WebSCM terminology. I am going to go ahead and turn off my video. That might help with my connection. So first, let's talk about bookmarking, pop-ups, and other settings. So it's recommended that we use Google Chrome. If any of the following security settings are not allowed for you to set up, that might be because of your district IT permissions, then you'll need to work with your IT at your district. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we have the latest version of Chrome. Now I'm going to show you step by step on these slides how to do that. And again, like I said, if you are watching on your phone and you don't have access to your laptop or your desktop right now, you can go back and either reference the training materials from Region 10's live binder or go to Square Meals and walk through these same steps through the slides. We do recommend you have all this set up as soon as possible because we are going to get into the training environment. And again, the best browser to use is your Google Chrome browser. So if you click on the vertical dots located in the right-hand corner of the browser, you'll get a drop-down box. You'll want to click on the Help button and then click on About Google Chrome. This is where you'll see the latest version of Chrome that you have on your computer. So Chrome will automatically load updates, and when an update is complete, a relaunch button will appear. So if that relaunch button is there, you can click relaunch to complete any updates. So again, this is just making sure you have the most updated version of Google Chrome on your browser. So let's talk about when we log into the training environment. It's not necessary to create a bookmark, but it definitely saves a lot of time. You're not constantly looking for that website or that link. So this is the link. And it's going to be different than the one you use when you go into the live environment. This one has WebSCM NTRN. So that stands for our training environment. So you would type in that address. And it's going to take you to the eAuth page. So it looks just like the regular eAuth page when you would go into the live environment. But you will always click on Customer. So this would be the login page. This is what it's going to look like. And this is where we're saying to bookmark it. So in Google Chrome, when you want to bookmark, you just simply click on the star at the top of the page where the address bar is. Just simply click on that and it'll turn the star blue. Now it's also going to pop up another window where you can decide where you want to put that bookmark. It'll ask you, do you want it in a folder or do you want it on the top tabs of your browser screen? And then you'll hit done when you're finished adding the bookmark. So again, the blue star indicates that the site has been bookmarked. And then you can see here where they have their bookmark on the top of their websites, top of their screen or their browser. So that just finds it's easier for them to find right there. You could also have it a drop down if you have lots of bookmarks. Whatever works best for you. So next, we need to disable pop-up blockers in Chrome. This is necessary to make sure that WebSCM works properly because when you want to open different reports, if you have a pop-up blocker, it might not open the report. So again, you're going to click on the three dots on the right-hand corner of your browser. And you're going to go to Settings. From Settings, you want to find Privacy and Security. From there, you're going to locate Site Settings. After you click on site settings, you'll scroll down and you will click on pop-ups and redirects. And then you'll have two options that appear. The first option allows pop-ups for all websites, but TDA encourages you to choose option 2 to promote more control over the site redirects and pop-ups. So after you click on option 2, you're going to scroll down from that and you're going to click on allowed to send pop-ups and redirects, and you're going to click on the add button. So this is where you would type in that website that you want to allow the pop-up blockers in. So you're going to type in usda.gov. And then click add. So now you can see the two sites that they have decided they're going to allow the pop-up blockers in. Any questions so far? Okay. Feel free to type in any questions through the training in the chat function, and I will pause and answer those. Okay. So now let's talk about enabling PDF downloads in Chrome. So again, this is to allow for WebSCM to download reports in the PDF format. So again, we're going to use our three buttons on the upper right-hand corner of your browser. You're going to click on Settings. Privacy and Security. And click on Site Settings. From there, you'll click on Additional Content Settings. Now, next you want to click on PDF Documents. Click on the arrow across from that. And you want to click on Download PDFs. Okay, so I'm going to stop for a minute and allow for any questions. I know that was fairly quick. I went over the instructions, but I also want to say that this is being recorded, so you can go back and watch it again. And again, all of these slides are on Square Meals and in the Region 10 live binder. But again, this is just setting up your browser to get ready to use WebSCM. So to find that transition page, again, you can scan this QR code or simply go to squaremeals.org and you'll find that on the landing page, the home page, the link to that page as well. Now there is lab time that Region 4 is offering, so free face-to-face lab time if you're having any troubles setting up your browser. Also, like I said, we have all the resources available to you as well. So next we're going to talk about starting in WebSCM training portal. So we're going to talk about the training environment login and portal components, some help features, and accessibility settings. So you won't be logging in to the training environment at this point. I'm just going to show you how to the features about it, and then when you do log in for the next sections, you'll know how to get in and how to navigate around it. So remember, there are new terms and acronyms to learn for WebSCM. So within WebSCM, you'll be considered an RA, a recipient agency. Remember that TDA is now a state distributing agency. Operations are now transactions, and our surveys are now called catalogs. So again, this is the link to the training environment. So remember, we copied that and we're going to save it as a bookmark for when we go in and actually start running some reports and looking at it. You'll have a different link when you get into the live environment. You'll know that you're in the training environment by the icon at the top where it says NTRN. When you're in the live environment, it'll see WebSCM or WBSCM. So when you get into the system, this is what it's going to look like. This will be your landing page, the first page you come to. It's going to have some information, some announcements. Remember, these announcements are from USDA, so they are statewide, nationwide announcements. They could be helpful. You will know the new announcements by an orange dot. So anything new will have an orange dot next to it. And there's going to be multiple of them. You can scroll down and view them. But just know, again, these are nationwide announcements. They might not pertain to Texas or to yourself. And then at the top right upper corner, you will see your name and your CE name. Now in the training environment, you will be provided with a training login and password. So that will be a different at the corner there. And then at the top of the screen, there's a search bar. Again, we're just going to go over what it looks like inside there. There'll be 4 tabs. So again, this is the top level 1 module tabs here, and they will navigate to additional tabs. So if we clicked on the reports tab, it'll open up order processing. And it'll open up another window. So if you clicked on one of those tabs in the new window, it's going to open up another screen. So this is where you would put your information, like your program year, what information you are looking for. There are some help features located within WebSCM. So upper right-hand corner is one way to find it, and also at the top tabs is another way. So the top tab has just a help tab itself. And the right-hand corner has under options, you will see help. So if you clicked on the help tab, it'll open up another window. From here, you can find job aids, course material modules, instructions, and some release notes. And if you click on job aids, it's going to open up additional tabs as well. Like I said, the second option is to go under options in the right-hand corner, and a drop-down window will appear where you can click on help. This is going to open up a separate window where you can find a lot of the same information, the job aids. But always remember that there is also all of our information on Square Meals, all of these trainings, as well as very helpful one-pagers. So when we talk about setting up accessibility options, not all users will need to enable accessibility settings. However, by moving through this process, with everybody, those who need this feature will not have to independently request this access. So let's go over what that is. So if you wanted to personalize your access, you would simply click on the personalize at the top of the screen. This is above your tabs, and click on portal. And then you'll see it'll open up another window. It's going to say enable accessibility transactions, and you can click on modify and activate accessibility feature. And then you will need to hit save. So now it's going to have user attributes modified message will appear at the top there. So what this is, if a system displays no extension entered, warning message, user may disregard. So an accessibility feature must be turned on separately for transactions and reports. So if for some reason you are having problems pulling a report, this is one thing you might want to check if that has been checked. Okay. Then you want to click close button to the pop-up and close a transaction. Refresh browser after returning to the WebSCM portal to apply all changes. All right, let's do a quick knowledge check. Remember, we do need to complete these knowledge checks to receive training credit, and you have to use your particular student ID. And let me get you the QR code, then I'll go back to the question. So here's a QR code or the web page. Give you a second to get that, and I'll go back to the question. It's easier to read on the screen if you're using your phone. Okay, so the question is, WebSCM navigation panels list RA, recipient agencies, entitlement as a transaction option. RA in WebSCM acronym that is used in place of what TXUMPS acronym or term? So RA replaces what term? So remember, TDA is now SDA, or State Distributing Agency. So it's not that one. CE is now referred to as a recipient agency. So that RA takes place of the CE. So that is the correct answer. And just as a refresher, SDA is State Distributing Agency within WebSCM. Okay, we have another QR code. This one's just asking you, how confident are you about the transition from TXUMPS to WebSCM? What is your confidence level? So remember your student ID is the number 10, 10, and then CEID, your CE number, and then your last name. All right, any questions? So we're going to talk about why we're doing these changes, and then I can go back and I'm going to show you where on Square Meals to find the material, and I can go back and walk you through all the Google steps. Oh, so why did we do all these changes? So we're going to answer that question. We're going to talk a little bit about the other changes that are happening with the contract packet replacement, survey changes, farm to school changes, the weekly commodity bulletin, and any third-party access. So why did we change? TXUMPS was fine. We were doing just fine, right? Well, there was a reason why. Because the FDP module in TXUMPS does not have an upgrade. We were kind of stuck. We couldn't make any more advancements on it. And since 2010, TDA has already been using WebSCM behind the scenes to submit your order to USDA. USDA owns and regulates WebSCM, and it's always live. It's always the information you're going to get is the best, most accurate live information. So if you take a look at this, so the previous process, TDA would create a catalog in WebSCM, and they would recreate that same catalog into TXUMPS for you, and then you would create your surveys, and you would turn those in TXUMPS, and they would get downloaded to TDA, and then TDA would have to turn around and put them back into WebSCM, and there's more chance for errors with this happening. So the new process, TDA creates a catalog in WebSCM, you go into WebSCM and create your requisitions, and TDA approves them. So no waiting, less errors, and it's real-time data. Another change is how we order DoD. So DoD was always through favors. That's going to stay the same, but now included in your DoD or your favors is also your farm to school, now called local grown. So now next year when you go into favors, you will have both your entitlement for DOD and your farm to school amount. So that'll be in favors, and then WebSCM, you will have both your processing diversion and your direct delivery, formerly called brown box. So remember, you have to opt in if you want to participate in the DOD program. So let's take a look at this page. So before, when you wanted to participate in USDA foods, you filled out a contract packet. No longer will you do that. Instead, you just have to make sure that each year in July, when you first fill out your packet, your application packet, that you're answering yes to A25. And that's just saying, yes, I want to participate in USDA foods. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then when you want to request brown box and processing, before that was part of TXUMPS surveys. Now it is all done in WebSCM catalogs. If you want to participate in farm to school, again, that was in TXUMPS. And now you will just complete a JOT form saying that you want to participate in DOD. Previously, farm to school entitlement was separate, and now it'll be commingled with DOD. So you'll have $1 amount, and you can decide how you want to use that, whether you want to use it all for DOD or if you want to use it some for local grown. Previously, you would request your farm to school in TXUMPS, and again, now this is in favors. Prior, you would, for your weekly commodity bulletin, it was in TXUMPS. Now you will use WebSCM reports and your warehouse tracking system to get that information. Previously, FSMCs and co-ops had access to TXUMPS. Now they will not have access to WebSCM. So let's look at that contract packet a little closer. So again, that's eliminated, but you will answer yes to A25 within your NSLP application. That's it, pretty easy. Surveys, before we would go into TXUMPS and enter a survey. Now we will not do that. We will just simply go into WebSCM and place our requisitions in there. And we will have a training next week on requisitions. Next week or in November. Yep. Again, farm to school. This is not done through TXUMPS anymore. You will answer yes in the DOD JOT form. And then if you have any changes to any delivery sites, you will enter yes in that, and you will email that information to TDA. And all that information is in the JOT form. And as I said, you will order both DOD and your local grown in favors, and you'll know it's local grown because it'll be marked, it'll have local grown in green next to that item. Again, it's using the same bucket of money. But it's all done in favors. All right, so let's talk about the weekly commodity bulletin. Now, previously, you wanted to know your account status or what your entitlement was. Now in WebSCM, You will pull that down through your entitlement management report. And you'll get further training on this as well. But just to cover, what's replacing the commodity bulletin is for just the entitlement will be your entitlement summary report. And then if you want to know what shipments were coming in, you will look at your requisition status report. Summary of commodities in warehouse will now be tracked through Gold Star. Or I'm sorry, whoever your warehouse tracking system is. Sorry about that. Whatever warehouse you're using. And some summary of commodities by storage type. All that information will be within your warehouse tracking system. Again, FSMCs and co-ops will not be given access to WebSCM. So making sure if you have a co-op, you're working with them ahead of time. They are aware of the changes and they can give you more direction on how to handle this process. A lot of them have forms to help you forecast how much you need to put in a WebSCM. So again, they do not even have the view only access, no access at all. And we will not be providing training to FSMCs or co-ops on WebSCM. So again, this is just a summary of those changes. So the contract packet is gone. We're just answering yes to A25 in our application packet. The surveys are now WebSCM catalogs. If you want to participate in DoD, you will complete the JOT form. Remember, your farm to school entitlement is now commingled with DoD. And you can order those local grown items and favors. Your weekly commodity bulletin is replaced with WebSCM reports and your local warehouse tracking system. Great. So Tamika had listed in the chat that Region 10 Co-op has a forecasting tool to help with forecasting. So make sure you have signed in for the training today. I want to make sure we captured you for attendance. So this is a transition page, but I'm going to take you there live. Let's see. Okay, so this is the landing page, the home page of squaremeals.org. And if you scroll down, you will see the WebSCM transition page. From here, we'll see all the information about the transition that's taking place right now, the timeline. A great resource is the FAQs, lots of great information there. Also the contract packet replacement, that's going to go over all those other information I provided you earlier, and the commodity bulletin replacement. Keep scrolling down and you will find all the trainings that we are going over right now. So again, this is all the parts that I covered today in 101, the browser setup, training portal, and the major changes. The handouts are just PDFs of those slides. And there are a one-pager for browser setup as well, which is very helpful to go over those steps. Just one page to help you get through all that information we went through this morning. Do we have any questions at this time? That is all of the browser setup. If you would like, I can stay on and I can actually walk you through all the steps if you'd like to do that. Or again, like I said, you can come back and use these helpful tools and make sure that you get all these set up correctly before moving forward to the next training. So if you're comfortable and if you think you've already got your browser set up or you're comfortable with setting up your browser on your own, that concludes the training for today. Otherwise, I can stay online and I can help anybody who has it. Also, they have the lab, live in-person lab today from 1:30 to 3:30.